We're
So
doing well.
what is that feeling when you see Bryce go down? Does your heart just start racing? Just give me the actual feeling you had inside your body.
Well, you guys we've all felt it. You get that little feeling, the pit of your stomach, and it's the same feeling I had when Ramos went down. When we blew his knee out, when Eaton went down. Those are tragic. They're such tragic injuries, and they're so horrific. And I've witnessed a couple of them. I remember I was with the White Sox when Robin Ventura, broke brutally at a play at the plate, and Stephen Drew also when he was with Arizona, kind of changed his career around when he really broke his ankle in a bad way, tore all the ligaments and that type of thing. A horrific play at home plate. So yeah, you get a feeling, a bad feeling, the pit of your stomach. You immediately go to GM mode, and we immediately called immediately as we were tending to Harp, we immediately called our farm director Doug Harris and made arrangements to get Michael Taylor on a plane and pull him out of the game in Double-A, get him on a plane and bring him here because we knew that we needed a player that next day. So. You got to change gears quick, and then I went down to see Harp in the clubhouse, and found out that he was. When I saw him walking up the stairs from the dugout to the clubhouse, I was a little bit relieved. But you never know with those injuries until you get the MRIs, until you see maybe a day or two later what transpired in there. You have to be cautiously optimistic, I guess, that it wasn't an Eaton type of thing where you knew immediately that he was gone for the season.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Mike, initially, do you automatically default to assume the worst? This is the worst case scenario, because that's what I would do. But you're probably more measured. You've seen a lot of these throughout your career. Is that initial reaction, this is probably the worst, and then deal with it? How do you approach it from that angle?
Well, I think you like I said, you go into your evaluation mode. Where you look at the depth of your roster. What's next? You get the cabinet together, and we were all in the GM box watching the game, so we were all together and kind of put our heads together and try and come up with a plan. If it's light injury, if it's a year-ending injury, what do we do, and what are the plans? And you put plans together. I think that was if I'm not mistaken, it was like the first inning or second inning or something like that. So It was early in the game. So we had 3 hours to lament over it and think about what we're trying to do and put a game plan together. Kind of on Michael Taylor flying into D.C. Later that evening. So we kind of had to turn things around pretty quickly.
Mike, did you trainer immediately do like a field test, ACL? Because they can do that at a pretty good rate and know if they think that ACL is intact. Did they do that right there in the clubhouse?
Yeah, right there in the clubhouse. We have beyond our crack training staff and our medical staff, which we brag that we have as good or better than anybody in baseball. We have an orthopedic surgeon that's on call. We have a general surgeon that's on call. We have X-ray techs. So we put him through his paces and that type of thing. And our ortho on call that night, our team doctor was there, and the manipulations of the joint of the knee and that type of thing. There's certain tests that we put players through, be it a shoulder injury or an elbow injury, a knee injury, that you can kind of loosely tell the seriousness of an injury. And when I saw, like I said, when I saw Harp walking up the stairs and putting weight on the leg, and then kind of after kind of the shock for him that was gone, he was moving around pretty good, and I felt cautiously optimistic about it.
Gotcha.
But it was fairly horrific injury, and it would play, and it's a testament to his lower leg strength and his athleticism. Youth didn't hurt, and his flexibility that he didn't come out of this thing much worse.
Mike, work with me here. I know it sounds kind of wild. Hologram. That way you don't have to slip on the base. You have the technology now in 2017, a hologram in place of the base. You can use your technology to make sure who gets to the I'm telling you, it's the future.
Is there something you can do to alterate that so that kind of thing doesn't happen?
We're going to have to do something. I think MLB has recognized that this isn't the first nor the last injury of this sort. We've had two horrific ones this year with Eaton and Harper. Harper, Trout, all these guys slide into these hard bases, head first. Most guys are. You're seeing all the time that guys are blowing thumbs out. They're keeping the stars of our game out for a long time, and I think it's a fairly reasonable fix. I think it's a fairly easy fix to come up with, and these intelligent people in MLB and the Players Association, we've got to put our heads together and come up with something a little bit better than this, and I think we will.